Hi, shalom everyone. I didn't record a video for a while here on this channel, so I thought I would record it again because all over the news today, especially not just in the main ultra-Orthodox news channels, also in the Israeli stations itself. I think they've been covering documentaries on this, and also even in the English-speaking news on various websites and newspapers. It's been talking about like the whole topic again. Usually happens this time of year at the start of September. Pretty much, where the discrimination that's taking place against, let's just say, entrance into schools for people from the Sephardic backgrounds. By the way, they're talking over here about seminaries and girls' schools. This does happen through all different spheres of, to some degree, you could say, in ultra-Orthodox society. So I was thinking to myself, should I speak about it or should I not? I like to give a peaceful message, unity message, appreciation. We should all love each other. Baruch Hashem, we're very fortunate. We're so diverse as a nation. Each of us has so much fantastic qualities. That's what I'm going to say from the outset. But one of the chairmen of an ultra-Orthodox party connected, let's just say, to the Lithuanian party. I don't need to mention any names because I don't know the motives behind everyone, and I'm not going to give my opinion. Does he actually mean it? Maybe he didn't really necessarily mean bad with what he said also, because people could jump the gun also with what he said. But a chairman that's got a high position, he called on the Sephardi party leaders, the Shas party themselves, to open new schools for girls, stating that there's an overcrowding in, let's say, the more Lithuanian schools in the city of Bet Shemesh, somewhere where I'm living in at the moment. And I think there was an inauguration of a school, a seminary, I think, in the city of Bet Shemesh. He states, the chairman himself, that there's problems with the city high schools, and he calls upon the leaders of the other party in honorable platform, open new schools, something befits quality population. So he's trying to urge that, and I'm not going to come in. So he goes on. I'm just using one of the English-speaking websites out there over here, which report on this today. A website more on the religious strand, let's just say, and stuff. He says that this person, this chairman, the need for additional educational institutions due to overcrowding in these specific institutions, by implying that, let's say, the Sephardi students are taking up a place they do not belong in. Our institutions cannot accommodate everyone, he said. This is what's reported over. I think he actually is seen in a video clip speaking about this. He says that let's say the Lithuanian educational institutions are growing, but the space is too small to accommodate all the students. And he's stating now to the Shas party, obviously it's directed, it's public information, your girls need a place to study comfortably and spaciously without having to crowd into our institutions. First of all, I think the Shas party will obviously respond, stating that they've got excellent educational institutions afterwards for the Sephardic public. So many there's a lot to take within regards to this entire episode in of itself. Now, I've been speaking about this for years. I think it was way before I got married. I think it was about 16 years ago when I was becoming religious. I spoke to someone else and I said, what's going to happen later on? Within regards to school systems, I was worried for seeing. So then the other person said, don't worry, it's all going to be fine in 15 years' time. You'll have nothing to worry about. Now, I want to say from the outset, I'll state, well, we had one of my kids, my oldest kid was very, very young at that point. So I was looking ahead. So I told someone, there's Anglo communities, Sephardi communities now all over Israel. There is a number of them. So I spoke to someone, I'm not going to mention which city in or anything like that, but someone close that said, why not make a Anglo-style Sephardi school system? Because there's going to be these issues, because very well known, a lot of the Sephardim, especially the Anglo ones, have issues getting into school. So I told him, look, there's a lot of very, very intelligent people here from good families, very good jobs also, great Talmidei Chachamim. We could easily make, in the whole of Israel, a system which will, grow. We have to start it up and you can do it. So he went like this, it's not going to work, he said straight away, unequivocally, he said it straight away. He said, and then, this is the leader over there, another Sephardi one, he says he even said you should hide the fact you're Sephardi. That's the extreme way he went to it. So then, I realized at that stage in time, this could be a problem, So I was thinking about it. Why is he saying it? Why potentially? Let's say that this, because I spoke to someone that's quite high up. Let's just say in the hierarchy over here. And so I thought for a long time, why is he saying it? Well, it makes sense at the end of the day because a lot of protexia is out there, and the people at the top of the hierarchy, especially if you're someone Anglo, because people might have issues getting into schools, especially if the person is from like an Idut Mizrach or from another minority background. The last thing he wants, let's just say top person, is now to start something up because it might look bad on him. He's got this entire protexia under his name, so he's basically a very, very important figure. He's bringing a lot of people to schools. He might be bringing a lot of people inside the Ashkenazi system, handpicking them, and they'll be accepting handpicking. But the problem is the other 90% in this hierarchy that are lower down, then a lot of these people have to end up, first of all, especially for the people that are from more the Anglo countries, they want to go maybe to a more American style school system. There's quotas in a lot of these schools. So then they have to beg, they have to really possibly pay a lot more extra money. Some people really have to humiliate themselves to get into these things. And then it's not just you get into one school. Then when they're 13, 14, then it's difficult to get into another school afterwards. And it goes on. And then for the siblings also, just because someone gets in, doesn't mean the siblings is going to get in also in these cases. The amount of stress it actually causes over here. So in a way, I'm not stating the way that maybe this chairman presented all this thing today. Obviously, people will question and so on and so forth. But obviously, you could argue that many of these people that are choosing who gets in and stuff like that, there's definitely a charge of racism. It could potentially be there. I want to be careful with what I say. We obviously, I think vast majority of people, they have good intentions, and that's what I would say as a general thing. I generally think that. I think in every group, all throughout Jewish history, or not just Jewish history, in all different societies, there'll be like people are more favoured to other people and stuff like that. But it's not just, it's a dual issue, because everyone could now be screaming inside the news, this is discrimination, this is this and that. But, at the end of the day, it's just happening so much now, all these years, every single year at the start of September. My answer to it is that because in a strange way, you might have a point. There's 11, I think the ultra-Orthodox Sephardi party, they boast as many as 10 or 11 seats in the Knesset. They could do huge school systems. Now, there's another issue over here, which you could answer back to the chairman, is what is allocation of schools like? What's allocation of plots of lands like? Is it that maybe the Lithuanian or the Hasidic communities are getting the larger plots or not? That might be a charge over there. I don't know. I'm not too sure. I'm not going to say it is or isn't. That could be a throwback question. Maybe generally there's hardly, Sephardim are given, let's just say, inferior parts of the city, or the inferior streets, or in places less desirable to situate a school. That could also be, and I'm not stating that is the case in many of these cities, but that might be, because in a lot of these cities, it tends to be like maybe the non-Sephardim will be necessarily the key people inside the cities in of itself. That could be a throwback on it. But at the same time, I'm speaking from an Anglo perspective. If there's now, we've probably got more than 1,000 Anglo-Sephardi religious families, at least in Israel, all over in key areas of Israel. There could easily be a girls' school system over here. There could easily be yeshivot, kindergartens and stuff like that. And it could end up becoming a really beautiful thing, because we bring our expertise. Many of us come from England, from Canada, from the United States of America, from various different places, South Africa. There's Sephardic communities where a lot of people have come from all over the place. If we potentially did make a school system over here, thriving one, it could be beautiful. People from all different factions could end up coming to it also, and we can bring our brilliance from our minhagim and from our communities also at the same time. So I said to that leader 13 years ago, a prominent person, I said, make the school system over there. I said that this was, I'm not going to say which city it was in, and he totally ignored it. He said he basically said that you should hide let's say, where you come from, hide the fact that your background was actually from, let's say, the Asian countries and stuff like that. Just fit into these things. But, as I stated before, that a lot of people, I know a lot of people that change their family names and stuff like that, which is a huge, huge shame. They would, let's say, change them in hugging, their pronunciations, every single thing. But why should it be at the end of the day that people are doing it? Now, I spoke to other people recently. So, and another thing you get, I told another very prominent rabbi recently, I think it was about 6 months ago, another Sephardi rabbi over here. I think his kids also suffered from discrimination. I said, let's make a school system. Let's have a yeshiva or something like that. So it says, we're Am Yisrael. We are Am Yisrael over here. We'll join in. But at the end of the day, we can have this attitude, we're Am Yisrael. We can get in. Everyone loves us. But it doesn't work that way. We see if there's quotas and people can't get in. And so many people end up going off the derech and because they can't get into a school. Like many of these precious girls that didn't end up with a school. And, it's a tragedy from this entire thing. So I think, I'm not, I'm coming here with very, very loving, a summary of this entire situation also at the same time, because I do generally think the people that are here in the media today, especially it's been all over the headlines, I think many of the people actually do mean good. I don't think anyone is necessarily a bad person. It might be perceived that way, if someone is... the thing, and it's very, very sad to see. But I do think that, we shouldn't rely on, so many other people serving so many other people. Now, I want to talk back. I think it was back in pre the state of Israel. Many Sephardim would have suffered discrimination back in the day. With the schooling system, with the Yemenites community and stuff like that, so on and so forth. I don't think it's happening. I think in general Israeli society, I think there's an embracement, definitely much more so. There's definitely much more unity. I feel there's I don't think it's really a big topic, discrimination here in 2025, but it is in this sphere, in the more ultra-Orthodox sphere, which is an issue over here. But at the end of the day, if they are always relying on all the other communities to accommodate them and stuff like that. At the end of the day, there's 10, 11 election seats that the ultra-Orthodox Sephardi party has. With that amount of money and, let's just say, power that they've got, now I question there should be a much better school system for them. There should be more schools, that's for sure. There should be a high level over here. I think at the moment in the Anglo community, with easily 1,000 families we've got, imagine how good it will be if they did create a school system also that would be using all the, let's say, Edut Mizrach Minhagim, but also bringing the Anglo flavor inside of it. How much that's going to improve the entire school system, not just a religious education system, but it could, because more schools in general and the more different systems, I think that improves the entire school system overall. So, many people would have seen the titles I put over here and not come with this answer thinking that I'm shifting the blame, but I'm coming in with a huge amount of love here and olive branch of unity to all different places over here. But I do think that, it's very, very important that, especially as Anglos now, much more is being done from the people at the top, because it's not going to come from the people at the bottom. This comes at the end from there's very, very, very wealthy families out there that could make these things happen. There's so much political power there is also, and there's many big rabbonim that if they took the lead and they created this school system, there wouldn't be any issue with discrimination. Potentially everyone's going to have a place to get into school, and the school systems will end up becoming stronger from this. But at the moment, as you can see, there's people, this is the situation is now, whether the people that are calling this, making all the noise about this, these chairmen, whatever it is, whether there's let's say discriminatory motive or not, I don't know. I'm not going to judge on that. Obviously we've got I'm going to state on the outset that people should it could be many people from the Sephardi community, from regular schools, are complaining also to the chairman over here that is voicing this opinion, stating that, it's not fair that none of us, because maybe there isn't enough schools. There are some people saying it. So it's a nuance. It's a different kind of approach I'm giving here. But at the end of the day, we hope for unity. I've stated from the outset that the Sephardi Rabbanim, in my opinion, should be doing a lot more with regards to education. Tony Blair stated in 1997 UK elections, Labour elections. I remember when Labour Party won a landslide in the United Kingdom. Obviously, I personally feel they're a lot better than they are now, especially towards Israel. He says education for the younger generation. Now, at the moment, what's happening is, people don't have seminary. A lot of girls haven't got a seminary to get into. A lot of boys, they can hardly get into a school, and people have to really beg. People have to humiliate themselves. That's what's happening at the moment. So, it's just another idea. So I thought I'd voice this over here, because it's been on my mind. And, this is definitely the group to speak about it in, because it's very rare that we've got a community like this, especially on social media, which is speaking about these things. And we all mean so much and we all appreciate other people. So on that note, maybe I'll start doing some more videos again. I think I used to record a couple of videos every month on this channel. I didn't do it for more than I think 18 months or something like that. So maybe it's time, these things are spoken about more, and I am more vocal about this now than it is. But wishing you all a fantastic night. Let's see, Bezrat Hashem. Hopefully this will be in theory, and we'll see the rebuilding of the third Beit HaMikdash before all these situations will be sorted. And hopefully it's going to be today. So wishing you a fantastic day, and thanks for watching.